What is up, my friends? It's a brand new week, and you are very welcome along to Monday evening's Anfield Agenda News Roundup. Today, we're going to be telling you who is and is not in the travelling squad to go over to face Galatasaray. We'll be linking Liverpool with a young right back from Portugal. We'll be giving you some words from Florian Wirtz around when he found out he was joining Liverpool. He was immediately talking to his mate. What has he got to say? Well, I'll let you know in the next few minutes. And we'll have a couple of other interesting bits and bobs, including a big shout from Spain about XABI Alonso and Liverpool Football Club. That and lots more to come. But of course, I want to know your thoughts, my friends. Let me know in the comment section. Drop a like if you enjoy the video. And I hope to see you back here tonight at 8:45 for the late night agenda. The Reds, of course, in action tomorrow. It is a 5:45 kickoff, which means we'll be live here from 4:30. So I hope you can come and join us for that. Right. So I said I'm going to let you know who is and is not in the travelling squad to face Galatasaray. The travelling squad consists of Gomez, Van Dijk, Canade, Kirkes, Wirtz, Szoboszlai, McAllister, Salah, Jones, Gakpo, Ekitike, Mamadashvili, Robertson, Woodman, Frimpong, Gravenberg, Leone, Nallo, Morrison, Engamoa and Miscure. So can you tell me who's missing from that? It is, of course, Liverpool's goalkeeper, Alisson Becker. So Alisson Becker misses with discomfort after Monday's training session. Now, again, the words that we're hearing is that it's not too serious, but we heard those about Florian Wirtz and he was out for a few games. So, as we know, he isn't going to be with the travelling squad. Anfield sector reported that Alisson will miss Liverpool's Champions League game Galatasaray, having complained of discomfort after Monday's training session. So that is a bit of a loss, but look, we do get to finally have a look at Georgie Mamadashvili, and let's hope he doesn't have too much to do tomorrow and Liverpool have a comfortable evening, but chance would be a fine thing. So let's talk about Arne Slot and some more waffle from the manager, and that's what I call this. He's talking about not being able to compete again this season and the reasons why. Let me read it out to you. He said, "We always knew this would be very difficult because we lost a lot of players and we brought players in that took some time to be up to speed. We always knew the signings would be a big success at this club, but we also knew it might take them some time to adapt, and I think that has been shown. Not by the performances, but by playing every 3 days. That intensity is something new for a few of them. Add to that the injuries we had, some players missing out in the pre-season, the ones that won the league last year. That has meant that with multiple other factors that we were not able to compete to win it again. And give credit to the other teams as well, the way Arsenal has done in the summer period by bringing in so many good players and still playing the football they do as they did last season already. They improved even more. Manchester City are always on top over there. They have been better than us this season, that is completely clear. To me, that is just more waffle and excuse making. Nobody expected this season to be that bad. Nobody had the expectations that he's talking about, and that was borne out with all the conversations. This isn't just my opinion. This is what he was saying, what Hughes was saying, what the journalists were saying, and of course what my fellow Liverpool fans were saying. That was not expected this season. To try to make out like this season has been anything other than frustrating is an understatement. Arne Slot needs to just stop talking at this point because everything he says is just more excuses, more excuses. He contradicts himself 2 or 3 times in that. He says that everything is good but the style of football isn't, or the style of football is good but everything else isn't. Ultimately, he's just waffling. We haven't played good football. They still don't look like they understand what the manager wants of them, and the players don't look motivated by him. So he can keep talking all he wants, but I'm just sitting here hoping and praying that by the time the summer comes, he's relieved of his duties. A little bit more on that in a moment. And by the way, I know there's going to be people commenting to say negative on the manager, blah. I can only tell you how I feel. And I always said I'm not going to come on and lie. You don't have to agree with me, but this is how I feel about the man. Now, let's move on to talk about the young Portuguese right-back that Liverpool are apparently interested in. Ebola over in Portugal have said, Liverpool have set their sights on Portuguese right-back Daniel Banjiquai from Benfica. The promising defender has a £25 million release clause, but Benfica want to give him an improved contract when he turns 18 this month. Now, if you're looking to search the player's name, it's Daniel, and then Banjaqui, Banjiquai. I don't know anything about this guy, but it is interesting because Peter O'Rourke said that he thinks Liverpool are going to dip into the transfer market for a right back this summer, meaning that they mustn't have faith that Conor Bradley's injuries are going to be able to, well, be cleared up, because nobody doubts Conor Bradley's ability, but it's no good to anybody, unfortunately, if Conor can't take the rigours of regular Premier League football. I'm a big fan of his, but I do understand if the club think they need to cover the bases here and make sure that they have cover for Jeremy Frimpong for the season and not just trying to make do like we have this year. So I do understand it, as much as, you know, I do say it with a heavy heart because I'm a big fan of Conor Bradley. So as we mentioned, Alisson won't be there, but Georgie Mamardashvili has been speaking a little bit about deputising for Alisson Becker, and this is what Georgie had to say. My ex-goalkeeping coach told me when I was in Valencia that I have to find a balance between ambition and patience. So keep working hard, and you never know when your chance is coming. It is, of course, never easy because there's just one goal. But as I said, if I don't play, I don't mind. I have to work hard every day, and that's it. My time will come for sure. Maybe it's not this year, but my time will come. And I like that quote from his goalkeeping coach there. Find that balance between ambition and patience. It must be very difficult to do. And as he said, as a goalkeeper, you only have one guy that can be missing for you to get your chance. If you're an outfield player, maybe you can fill in a few positions. But if Alisson's fit, Georgie knows the more likely than not he's going to be on the bench. And I like his attitude towards that. Despite what's been in the media about him maybe pushing for a move away, I think he just wants a few more chances to play first team football. Right, also on Arne Slot, he said, it's very important for us as a team because we want to be in the Champions League. And it's shown how important it is for this club financially. We know we're in a transition at the moment with this team. Here he goes again with more excuse making. We always knew it was going to happen when Jurgen left. It was something they said to me when the first conversations we had. We're still in that transition, and a transition works better if there is money available. So we know how important it is to qualify for the players, just to play in the Champions League football, but definitely financially for the club. Look, I'm not going to argue about that. It is obviously really important financially for clubs to get into the Champions League, and the difference between it is 100 million quid basically, whether you're in or out. So it's no argument from me on the importance of it. Let's just keep our heads down, Arne, and knuckle down and try to get the job done. So I did say to you that we're going to bring you some news from Spain, and there's a big claim being made here from OK Dario, who said XABI Alonso has an agreement in place to take over at Liverpool next season on a 3-year deal, provided Arne Slot doesn't win the Champions League. Now, I don't know whether to believe this or not. It does seem a little bit far-fetched to say to a manager, we want you, we think you're the guy, but only if this guy doesn't do this. Look, I don't doubt that their feelers have been put out to Alonso, but you either make that decision or you don't. And if you don't believe that Arne is the guy, then stick to your guns, even if he does win the Champions League. If you believe in Arne and you think he's the guy, then by all means stick with him. But this just doesn't make much sense to me. The club need to be definitive in their decision making here. If they want to keep Arne and back him, that's their prerogative. Let's do that. If the club don't want to do that, then let's bring XABI in, come what may. That's the way I see it anyway. Because if we won the Champions League, in my mind as a fan, it would be in spite of him and not because of him. And I've said this for a while. So if the club think that there's still a chance they can keep him, then I think that they should continue down that path. But I hope common sense prevails, because there's not many people who really think he is the right guy for the club at the minute. And I don't know if a Champions League would change it. I've always said that it would be very harsh to sack a manager that won the Premier League and the Champions League. But I also don't really think we're going to win the Champions League. And hell, look, if we win the Champions League, we're all going to be too busy celebrating. So let them just get on with it. We'll see what happens. But do let me know your thoughts on this one. Do you believe that story that Alonso has a 3-year deal in place with the Reds? So Florian Wirtz, he revealed something very interesting in a chat, and I want to just take you through it. So he said, from the day that I had the interest of Liverpool, I found out they were also interested in Jeremy. Of course, talking about Jeremy Frimpong. We were sitting next to each other, so we were speaking almost every day. How's it going? And how it would be so cool if we go together. And of course, that is exactly what they did, and we've been all the better for it. It's been great having the two of them in at the football club. Frimpong, breath of fresh air. Wirtz, an absolute superstar in the making. And just in case you ever wondered, who is his footballing idol? No, it isn't me, despite the fact that it should be me. I mean, if he hasn't seen me in goal, the cat, that's what they called me. The fat, lazy cat, the Garfield of the goalkeeping world, some might say. So, he said, my idol was always Messi. For our generation, he is the best player and maybe ever. That's Florian Wirtz there on Lionel Messi. I don't want to ask if you agree or disagree with this, because I know if I start the conversation between the Ronaldo fans and the Messi fans, it gets a little bit messy. See what I've done there? That was accidental. I'm not that clever. So, for me, look, I would say it's between Messi and Maradona, in my eyes, for the best player of all time. But do let me know your thoughts on that one in the comment section, my friends. And again, a reminder, 8:45 tonight for the Late Night Agenda. We'll be back taking you through all of this news and more. Don't forget to enter our giveaway as well. We're giving away this signed and framed Kenny Dalglish shirt this month. We'll have one item every month in 2026. Scan the QR code on the screen or use the link in the description. And thank you to our friends at thecollectorscorner.co.uk, where you can get 20% off with our code Anfield Agenda 1. That's it from me for now. We'll see you back here tonight. Much love. Take care.